Oh, wait. Hold on. I was about to go off, but hold on. I almost forgot something. All right. I almost forgot to plug in the cable so that way the connection could be stable, so that we won't have any problems as I continue this One Piece fable. Let's begin. It's good to see everyone. I see you, Holster. I see you, Ozzy. Ozzy, we got another member summit coming up this upcoming Tuesday. So that'll be a perfect opportunity for you to tune in if you are able. If not, hey, don't worry, you'll be able to watch it later. But let's go ahead and begin, shall we? Yo, peoples! Qushu92 here. Welcome back to yet another One Piece reaction. Last we left out on, we got the reveal of Rox and how Rox behaved as an individual as he was finding his way to Elbaf and trying to look for Herald. Hold on, let me refresh chat so it doesn't say disconnected there. Bada bing, bada boom! We are good to go. Okay, so last we saw was Rox wanting to talk to Herald, saying like, hey, I want to rule the whole world. Get rid of the Navy, get rid of the world government. And we see all these different people there that follow Rox, from Ganzui and Wangji and Don Marlin and Shiki and Edward Newgate at the time, Miss Buckingham Stussy, and you get all of these different individuals who follow under Rox. And then the last thing we get is the Rox Pirates being formed. So now the question is, are we going to see the events leading up to the God Valley incident, or are we going to continue with Herald and the flashback? So what we have here, ooh, we get like a color cover spread that shows, I like this! Okay, so we get like this color cover spread of Luffy, and some of the members of the Straw Hats are on him like, I guess Luffy's like a really big giant, or either the other Straw Hats are small. Luffy's really big, while we have Zoro and Sanji. We have Zoro and Sanji in parallel to seeing Roger in the background with his two left and right hands, Rayleigh and Gabin. And mind you, it shows you the parallel between them because it has Sanji on Gabin's side and it has Zoro on Rayleigh's side. So I think that's a cool parallel there. The past Pirate King with his two main hands, with the future Pirate King and his two main hands. Also, Nami's in the background, just chilling just sipping on a drink in her paint me like one of your French girls type pose. Chapter 1150. Let's get going. Chapter 1156. Idols. Water. Back in this time, a group of idols roam the seas. We're under attack by pirates! Why aren't you men fighting back? You're useless!
They stole everything we have, and the menfolk were no help at all. They're too tough. You didn't even try to fight. How are we going to make a living now?
And all of these men have been hit with something that's got their eyes in the shape of hearts. Even the Navy had trouble dealing with them. They were known as the Kuja Pirates, a band of warriors from the exotic country of women. These pirates were strong and beautiful, and shunned the presence of men.
I am so sick and tired of looking like this all the time. If only I could strip away this beauty of mine.
Empress of Amazon Lily, captain of the Kuja Pirates, Gloriosa, future Grand Magnon. Bruh. But Gloriosa saying, if only I could strip away this beauty of mine. She's tired of looking beautiful all the time. Gloriosa!
Granny Nyon! No, Pirate Empress. You must attend the Shichibukai meeting, or otherwise the world government could revoke our ability to rule this land without their interference. You must listen to me!
You know that's exactly how she sounded in the anime.
Lady Gloriosa, you're a goddess! She's so adorably devious, I love her! I feel my brain being bathed in light. Oh, asking for permission to have a heart attack!
Even the women are just so enamored by how beautiful Gloriosa is. So before there was Boa Hancock and her beauty, there was Gloriosa and hers. And this has to be before she joined up with Rox. Because remember, during the God Valley incident, she was present with everybody there. And then we have someone coming in going,
Lady Gloriosa, look at all your fan letters. Tritoma, what is that enormous pile back there? Those are all for Lady Shaki.
Forget what I said about Gloriosa being the most beautiful back then before Boa Hancock. Because Gloriosa's got like a big old massive pile of fan letters that Tritoma, this new person, Tritoma, can carry. But Shaki's got a mountain of them at the back of the ship. Shaki was that woman! Okay, well, she still is, but you know.
Tritoma, what is that? Tritoma, what is that enormous pile back there? Those are all for Lady Shaki. There's 100 times more over there.
Tritoma, Amazon Lily Empress, Tritoma, Amazon Lily Empress 2 generations later. Tritoma? Hold on. Tritoma? She would be an empress 2 generations later on? Huh. But we see Gloriosa getting jealous going,
it's preposterous. I'm the captain of this crew.
And she's putting on a whole pouty face, puffing up her cheeks, steam coming out the top of her head.
She's like an ice chill of fury!
Yes, the true star of the times, who outshone even Gloriosa's beauty, was her first mate, Shakuyaku. Shaki was the first mate of the Kuja Pirates with Gloriosa, and everyone thought she was catching eyes more than her own captain. Good God! Okay! And we're going on break after this chapter. But a ship is coming in.
Enemy ship approaching, Captain! Isn't that...
Ahem. Is this thing on? Roger speaking. This is Roger.
It's the Roger Pirates!
Don't bother resisting, Kuja Pirates. Today, once and for all, you're finally going to hand over your first mate, Shakuyaku. And this is back when Roger still had his straw hat and didn't have his big old mustache yet. So this is still young Roger, but he's on a megaphone Den Mushi. Today, once and for all, you're finally going to hand over your first mate, Shakuyaku. And then Gloriosa chimes in with,
why haven't you learned your lesson already, Roger? You already have my affections to return.
Oh, snap. Gloriosa wanted Roger. He was all like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to use my own divine departure and depart.
Why haven't you learned your lesson already, Roger? You already have my affections to return.
Caesar! Yeah! And the Kuja Pirates and the Roger Pirates are wanting to fight. Who are you expecting to seize? And then someone kicks out a door. Someone once said that her every move and gesture embodied pure seduction. Even members of the Roger Pirates, including Gavin, are enamored by her. Flowers! Please take my flowers!
There she is! There she is! It's Shocky!
There she is! It's Shocky! All the dudes are getting enamored. And even Roger's all like, huh? Flowers! Please take my flowers! No, not this! Accept my gift of flowers, Shocky! In her presence, flowers wilted and crumbled. Birds forgot how to sing, and people erupted into fighting. I'm sorry. In her presence, flowers wilted? No. What you mean, in her presence, flowers wilted? Is she so beautiful that she literally can make flowers literally die from just how hot she is? What? Birds, you can make flowers forget how to stay healthy, literally causing them to wither and die from your beauty. You can make birds forget how to sing. You can make people erupt in fighting just from her mere presence. I see why Shocky went to Sabaody, because if she stayed in Amazon Lily, no work would be done because she is just that beautiful. I'm sorry, Boa, but the way everything is sounding right now, Shocky looks like she's the epitome of beauty. In her presence, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted here. In her presence, flowers wilted and crumbled, birds forgot how to sing, and people erupted into fighting. Don't touch Shocky!
Oh, Gavin.
And it shows her kicking Gavin. When she calls my name, I lose all strength.
It's been a while, Roger.
What did you do to Gavin? And it shows Roger holding his sword, but he's kind of shaking and trembling. And then it shows Shocky apparently beating Roger and standing over him. Darn it! I love you, Shakuyaku!
I love you too, Roger.
What? What? Are we seeing? What is this I'm witnessing? Roger's on the ground and not Glory, but Shocky is standing over him.
I love you too, Roger.
In the face of such beauty, the mighty made fools of themselves. And Roger is being subjected to, like, what do you call it when in an anime or in a manga where this dude who's into a girl puts his hand up against the wall, is just leaning in close? Shocky's doing that to Roger.
But I will belong to no one.
And she's saying this with a cigarette in her mouth after giving Roger a knot on his head. And then holding his chin up going, but I will belong to no one. And then everyone is just losing their minds.
Ah! Pull all the treasure out of your hold. My soul is being taken to heaven!
And then it cuts to Gloriosa, who's holding on to Roger, going,
Don't you understand the honor of being loved by me, Roger?
Move it, Gloriosa, I can't see Shocky. Bruh. Shocky got Roger shook! The fact that Rayleigh got her, though. Good God. Who in the world? Move it, Gloriosa. I can't see Shocky. Kuja Pirate's first mate, Shakuyaku.
I feel for you, Ray.
Yeah, it's a bit of idiots over here. It's a bunch of idiots over here. And then Shocky winks at Rayleigh, and that causes him to stumble just a little bit. He goes like, because she just winks at him. See, she's saying I will belong to no one, but she's giving the wink to Rayleigh. Ooh, Rayleigh!
Lady Gloriosa, it's the Navy! Hurry, pack up the goods and don't leave a single crumb of bread. Yes, ma'am!
Hey, at least leave us some food. It's Roger and the Kuja.
Make sure to snap some pics. We can sell those.
Knock it off. We gotta get moving. Prepare to say. And then we have Roger saying, "We gotta get moving. Prepare to sail." And before he can say that, Gavin says, "Take a look, Roger. It's Garp's ship." "It's what?" "Disregard that order. Listen up, boys." And then we have Pirate Goldie Roger, future Pirate King and father of Ace. And then we have Navy HQ Vice Admiral Monkey D. Garp, future naval hero and grandfather of Luffy. And both Roger and Garp both say, while Garp is holding a cannonball with his neck extra big, because he's got a big, thick neck, they both say, "Flatten them all! Flatten them all!" And then they start fighting each other while the Kuja pirates get away. Meteor Fist! Rampage and Spirit! What? I'm sorry. A brand new attack from Roger other than Divine Departure? Rampaging Spirit? Meteor Fist! Ah! Here he comes! Rampage and Spirit!
It just had to be Garp's ship.
Garp! Roger! And they're both fighting each other. They're both using hockey. They are, Roger, Garp, and Rox. Men whose tales were spread as legends in the great age of pirates, first clashed here in their hot-blooded youth. Bruh. And it shows Roger and Garp fighting each other. And since we both know they got conquerors, they're using it against each other. Roger hits Garp. Garp punches Roger. They're both hitting each other.
Huh? Gloriosa!
And Gloriosa falls over. The Kuja, meanwhile, were tremendously popular and an indispensable part of the story of this era. And then Shaki goes, "Get a grip, sister." And Gloriosa's going through that whole sickness, the whole love sickness.
My chest feels tight. They're so gorgeous!
These untouchable idols were the desire of all the salty dogs of the sea, and their bounty posters were traded for considerable sums. Hidden cameras and pursuers were an everyday problem for them. Later, when Shakuyaku took the mantle of Empress, her popularity reached heights never before seen. And then we cut to Ida's bar in Elbaf. The boat capsized and Loki was drowning. To be honest, we weren't even sure if we should save him or not. That's how bad his behavior has been while you were gone. I appreciate that. Thank you for saving him. Hang in there, Loki. And then it cuts to another captain going,
"What do you mean you weren't sure? Save the boy! What if Loki had died out there?"
And Ida is reprimanding the giant because of what Estrid put out there, she's got every giant thinking that every problem that happens to Elbaf is Loki and that he's cursed. So they're all like, we were kind of wondering if we should save him or not.
"What do you mean you weren't sure? Save the boy! What if Loki had died out there?"
Listen, Ida, it was Loki's decision to go out to sea.
So what? If you abandon Loki, I'll drown you 100 times.
And then Loki goes,
"I didn't ask for help."
There, you see? That's the attitude he takes. Oh, he makes me so furious. Then it cuts to Ida again.
"He's lost his mom, and his dad is too busy to stay home. Loki's just lonely, that's all." "Shut up, you hag!" "Want to live with us?"
And then both Harudin and Loki vehemently say,
"No way!"
And then Loki goes,
"You just want to pretend to be my mom and live in the castle, Ida. You just want all the money."
And then Harudin, insulted by that, goes,
"Shut up, Loki!"
"Apologize to her, Loki. You've crossed the line. You have no idea what Ida's been through." And then Ida doesn't say anything, and she just goes,
"Oh, you kids are too sweet."
"You're being too soft on him, Ida." And then we cut to another child that goes up and goes,
"I hate the way Loki talks to you, Ida. It's not fair." "Aw, are you crying for me, Mato? This world's too good for me." "I'm sick of this country already. Everyone's so weak and wimpy and trashy. I want to be free, like rocks."
From that point on,
Every time Rox came to invite Harold to join him, Loki begged and pleaded to join his pirate ship, but never got his way.
I'm finally leaving. Are you relieved? To tell the truth, I hate all of you too!
Several months after the takeover of sorry, I'm getting distracted here. Several months after the takeover of Pirate Island by the Rox Pirates. Hey, who are you? I want to join the Rox Pirates.
Sure, everybody wants to do that, but you'll never even meet him. The Rox Pirates are the all-stars of evil on this sea. See that fish-shaped rock up there? Apparently, that's where they all hang out. You want to go meet them? You want to meet them? Go on. But the farther inland you go, the crazier the folks get. Good luck trying to get there. And it's this hooded individual. I'll give you a little push. Go easy on him. And then the man who's hooded, grabs this same pirate by the face. And the dude is so big. This dude is huge. He's so big, he grabs this pirate by the whole head. Yeah! What's Shiki's rival doing here? And we see that the man is called Mobster Kyo. Future Silver Axe. Ah! It's him! Kyo the Hitman! What's Shiki's rival doing here?
The powerful figures drawn to Rox brought in other mighty types in their wake.
Stay back, or he'll kill you! And then there's a... Oh, snap! Hold up. The mountain that is on the island, it was shaped like a fish. But then there's an explosion, and two holes are open that later becomes the skull-shaped mountain. It was a fish at first, complete with the tail. And then there's an explosion as everyone's looking like, huh? There, how about that view? Take in the sights. I don't think opening holes was the right idea. Don't you agree? 'Cause Rox apparently blew out holes on two sides of them on the same sides of the mountain that would later lead to its skull shape. It used to be a fish, and now it's a skull because of Rox. He did that. He carved that out. To sum it all, there's two devil fruits out there I won't. Huh? He's looking for two specific devil fruits? To sum it all, there's two devil fruits out there that I won't. One of them is most likely found on Elbaf, and its power will only be truly unlocked if Harold eats it. Huh? And then we finally get Captain John. After that, you want to find Galila, right? I only know of them as a legend. Pirate Captain John.
I've got my information network on the hunt, but there's no hint of a band of frozen giants anywhere.
Pirate Charlotte Lin, future Big Mom. And mind you, I added the laugh just because she always does that. If they exist, they're corpses. And we have Whitebeard. Good point. They ain't coming back to life. Shut up! Shut up, we're talking about dreams here. Pirate Struzin, Lin's partner. So Struzin was part of the Rox Pirates too! He joined too!
Plus, if they were to somehow be brought back, they have no reason to listen to you.
Pirate Barbell, Catfish Fishman.
And that's why I need the power.
And that's why I need the power of Harold, King of Elbaf.
Can't you just suppress them with sheer strength? Same thing for Harold. Just crush him and make him obey you.
Pirate Kaido, future king of the beast.
What? Don't ever say that to me again.
And Rocks kicks Kaido in the face hard enough to draw blood from him.
Hey, knock it off, Rocks.
Bastard!
You too, Kaido. Calm down.
We just got this island. You want to smash it to bits? This crew is bound to
Who's saying this? Oh, this is Shiki saying this.
We just got this island. You want to smash it to pieces? This crew is bound to fall apart sooner or later.
And then we have Captain John going,
yeah, so why don't we earn a little more before it happens? Take it easy, new kid. Harold's my pal. You say that nonsense again and I'll get rid of you first, Kaido.
Wow. Wow, he respects Harold so much that he looked at Kaido and says, like, if you say anything about him again, I will drop you. And mind you, Kaido is already a very strong individual during this time. Not to the point where he was during Wano, but he's still very powerful. And Kaido shuts up.
Listen up, folks. Elbaf is the key to taking down the Holy Land. If you don't trust me on that, get lost. It's up to you whether or not you want to follow me on the fateful day of our mission. But if you got the stones for it, then stick around with me for a bit. I'll show you the peak of the world!
And we see the entirety of the Rocks Pirates. The Rocks Pirates in their prime. Stussy, Langji, Whitebeard, Barbell, Kyo. Kyo is showing up. But we have Big Mom, and then we got Gonzui, Kaido, Captain John, Streusen, Rocks. We got all of these people.
I'll show you the peak of the world!
And that's the end of the chapter. Bruh, Rocks said that there are 2 devil fruits that he said he wanted the most. One of them is most likely found on Elbaf, and its power will only be truly unlocked if Harold eats it. Its power will truly be unlocked if a giant wields it. Oh, I have so many questions. Let me go back. Because one thing I gotta say, this double spread panel here showing the Rocks Pirates, that is clean. Oh my god! Finding out that Streusen was also part of the Rocks Pirates as well, so both Big Mom and Streusen have been chilling ever since the disbandment of the Rocks Pirates, and he just decided, you know what, the days of Rocks was fine and all, but I'm okay with being Yokok. Ooh, 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 I know. You know that song he was singing during the Whole Cake Island arc, but all of these people, members of the Rocks Pirates, this Barbell is a massive fishman dude. He is massive. He's a catfish. He's a catfish fishman. But all of them are huge, except for Big Mom. Big Mom looks to be like the second tallest because Barbell looks to be the biggest out of this entire group. I see Don Marlin in here as well. Everybody is here. And Kyo the Hitman, rival to Shiki, is on Pirate Island for some reason. This Joker big, but he also's got these shades on. He's got these shades on that have like an X mark over them. And he has tattoos on his body, and he's wearing something that looks eerily similar to what you would see from Wano. But at least we get the name of, a person that would join with Rocks. Because, Silver Axe was the one other person that we didn't have a name for. We didn't have a name for Silver Axe at the time, but now we know that it's Mobster Kyo, who apparently is Shiki's rival. Goodness. Okay, what a chapter. Why does the Fishman have that ring like Luffy? Is he an awakened user? Hold on. He doesn't. That's just the way his hair looks. Yeah, that's just the way his hair looks. He doesn't have the wisp of smoke around his shoulders that is a trademark of awakened Zoan users. So, no. No, he is not an awakened fruit user because it would kind of be wasted on a fishman who works best in water. And mind you, we've seen Fishman with devil fruits before, but they've always had a bit of a protection around them so that way they could still move underwater, such as Vanderdecken. He's got a devil fruit. But no, Barbell does not have a devil fruit. But can we just talk about the beginning? First of all, let's see. Yo, what's up? You got any videos for Attack on Titan 1 through 3? I do not, because I never reacted to Attack on Titan, and I've already read through it, so me reacting and doing a read-through of it wouldn't be as genuine, because I've already read through it many, many years ago. So sorry, I do not. So let me see what you guys have said at the beginning. Got your cappuccino? Good. Completely understand them if this is who I think it is. Gloriosa was glorious, but now is inglorious. Let's see. Okay, I'm not going to go that far. I can't type that seriously. Down, Holster, down! Gloriosa actually wished to be ugly? Well, she got what she wished for. Look, I didn't want to say it. Oh, hey, it's Triotoma from Tritoma, I think it's Tritoma, from the SBS. Oh, okay. And Shaki is still... Yeah, she always was, but apparently she was so much so that she was literally the first mate of the Kuja Pirates, and everybody saw her as the most gorgeous over Gloriosa. Think she had a slightly different name in the SBS, though. Oh, okay. Good to see you, Kitten One. Hello, hello. She's the one who died from the love sickness before Boa took her place 13 years before the present. Oh, Tritoma was an imp. So she passed from the love sickness. He has the egg. What is it with this egg? Hold on. Did I miss the egg on the ship of the Roger Pirates? Did I miss that completely? Yeah, I didn't notice that, but he still has that polka-dotted egg that's sitting on the ship. That's actually a good question. Why is there just a giant egg on the back there? It'd be funny if it was one of those birds from the island that Chopper got sent to by Kuma later on in life. It'd be funny because you really don't see that many other birds around that size. It'd be funny if that was the case. But let me get back and read your comments, and then we'll go over the synopsis of this overall. Let's see... Exactly, he has the egg, so it's Roger that Gloriosa had the hots for, but Roger wasn't feeling her, and Shocky wasn't feeling Roger, and for a while, Rayleigh wasn't feeling Shocky. Talk about a love trapezoid. Exactly! Gloriosa wanted Roger. Roger wanted Shocky. Shocky wanted Rayleigh. And Rayleigh was all like, huh? Ooh, okay! That's interesting. Shocky had you beat. Hancock, sorry, not sorry. Look, Shocky out here making Roger fold. Gavin, don't look under her skirt. Look. Yeah, that's the fact that she would... first of all Kujas are just... Why not show the manga with the live reaction? Because there's such a thing called copyright that I can get in trouble for. So I'm not putting myself in that situation. There's a reason why professional YouTubers do not put the images up there, because you will come under fire by all who copyright that entire thing. So no, I am never going to do that. Ever. This is very funny when I show the manga with the live reactions, yada yada. Bo is still my favorite female character, though I will admit Shocky is very close in the looks department. Yeah, Rayleigh is the no one. Ray, the actual baddie bagger. Make no mistake, Hancock is still top tier. She is. One Piece back in my days. Subject. Won't be saying that. Love their dynamic already. Battle of the Major Chads is on site with these two. It really is. And it's distinctly said that the clash between Roger, Garp, and Rox, men whose tales were spread as legends in the great age of pirates, first clashed here in their hot-blooded youth. So these encounters with Roger and Garp fighting each other, what does it say about you as an individual when you're fighting someone who's using a sword and you're just using your hands? Because they are hurting each other. Roger is slashing Garp, and he's got blood coming out of his mouth. Garp is punching Roger, kind of flattening his face on the side, and his blood coming out of his mouth. It really was on sight for these two. So who again says that Garp is not on the same level as Roger again? Who said that insanity? Who said that? I'm I wouldn't be caught dead or alive saying something that dumb when it's already been stated by Roger himself, who says, like, you and I have almost killed each other more times than I could count. Roger hasn't said that about anybody else except Garp, which put in all of our minds years ago that Garp was that dude. Who would dare say that Garp was not on the same level as Roger? Literally before, when Roger and Whitebeard had their last fight, beforehand he said, like, hey, you Navy coons, if you guys want to fight me, send either Garp or send Goku. Otherwise, don't waste my time. Garp's name, when it came to strong people, it would always be uttered in the same instance as Roger. Because on the pirate side, Roger was top tier. On the Navy side, Garp was top tier.
Who would say something so ludicrous? Gloriosa liked Roger liked Shocky likes Rayleigh, Scopper exists. Suddenly becomes a romance manga, and that was amazing. Yeah, it's funny. Oh, look, it's the barmaid who had shanked some booze before he slaughtered kids, so Mato is her name.
Yeah, okay, so I was about to say, that wasn't Ida back then. Who was that giant? But it turns out, yeah, later on in life, Mato would be the giant that would take over for Ida's bar that Shanks and company would chill at.
Have to go, goodbye, alright, Kitten 1, he's more than likely gone already. Let me see, yeah, have to go. Yeah, oh my god, he's massive. Yeah, so the thing with Kyo is so big, he can hold a person's head in his hand. He's abnormally huge. So we finally get to see Silver Axe, and he's huge. Yeah, he's big. Wow, he's Shiki's rival. Oh, I get it. Golden Lion, Silver Axe. Yeah, they're the color grading right there. Let me see. So does that mean that Rox didn't have a devil fruit? It would have seemed so. But why would he say there are 2 devil fruits that I want most? But he said one will only truly be unlocked, like its true potential will only be unlocked if a giant eats it. So it kind of rules out the idea that he wanted both of those devil fruits for himself. Maybe he knew that his body was irregular, possibly like Blackbeard's, and that would allow him to essentially eat 2 devil fruits. But, you know, I'm just guessing, like, far off into the distance. But one of the fruits is on Elbaf, and it's the fruit that that might be the fruit that Loki currently possesses. You know, the legendary devil fruit that we've been hearing so much about. It's Lin. If this is still 44 years ago, that make her 24 years old and means she has 18 kids already. We're not going to talk about it. We knew that already, didn't we? I swear we saw him in a previous Rocks Pirates panel. I'm thinking back to the chapter. I think it was like 9. It was 9 something. I want to say it was 9 something. When the Rocks Pirates came flooding in during God Valley. And we saw Silver Axe and another unnamed person. Let's see. He does. That panel is fire. Oh man, another break. Why does a fishman have that ring like Luffy? Is he a warded user, awakened user? No. Silver Axe missed the group shot. I noticed Oda forgot the face paint tattoo on Harold's face. Oh, did he? Hold on, let me see. It would seem so. Because the lines going down his face is way more prominent, right? And I'm pretty sure there was no tattoo removal tech back then. So, yeah. Rayleigh really just won in everything, saw the One Piece, conquered the Grand Line, had a legendary crew, learned the truth of the world, got the girl of everyone's dreams, and he's still alive. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. Yeah, we see Streusen in chapter 1096 in the corner near Whitebeard's, Murakumogiri. Oh, really? Huh. I appreciate that all of the Kuja Empresses only fall for men that aren't smitten with them. Yeah, they really take the whole, playing hard to get thing seriously because they're not playing. They're just literally not interested in the women who somehow wind up being interested in them. Wait, you're not interested in me? Oh.
Oh, I might be interested in you because you're not interested in me. That's a weird dynamic, ain't it? See it so often. So we confirmed the egg is not related to Laughtail, probably Tom's, and also keep this in mind, it took those two to take down an entire crew like the Rocks Pirates. So if we go back to the giant, awesome-looking Rocks Pirates double spread panel, which is probably going to be the standard photo for the Rocks Pirates when it shows their crew members. They'll probably have their Jolly Roger, but it will show the crew from this panel itself. Barbell, Marlin, Shiki, Stussy, Struzen, Big Mom, Kaido, Captain John, wait a minute. Oh, there's Wang Zhi. There's Wang Zhi. Wow. The perspective they gave for Wang Zhi back then, it made me think that he was a really big dude, but no, he's pretty much roughly around the same size as Shiki. He's not terribly huge. Stussy comes up to just around his height as well, so he's not terribly tall, is he? Huh. But yeah, we got Barbell, Big Mom, Kaido, Captain John, Struzen, Ganzui, Wang Zhi, Newgate, Marlin, Shiki, and I said Stussy already. Yeah, and of course Rocks, pretty much everybody. And then later on, Silver Axe would be added to the group. But this is a wonderful shot, though. The Jolly Roger in the background, Big Mom towering over almost everyone, Rocks saying, like, Elbaf is the key to taking down the Holy Land. If you don't trust me on that, get lost. It's up to you whether or not you want to follow me on the fateful day of our mission. But if you got the stones for it, then stick around with me for a bit. This man said that the key to bringing down Marijois is the entire nation of Elbaf. So now it puts into perspective how much the world government wants to keep them under wraps and keep them down. Because they literally have the strength to bring down Marijois if they wanted. And Rock says they're the key to that. Okay. Alright, let me come back up here to what you guys were saying. Gabin may not have got Shocky, but he decided to become... Alright, Halster, you're gonna have to stop with that. Let's see. CD, good to see you. Just left church 10 minutes ago. I had to get home from church in order to get here as well. I was a bit late, so sorry about that. Did they show the Snake Lady, Gloriosa? They showed Gloriosa and her time as the Empress of the Kuja Pirates, Shocky being her first mate, and also pretty much the most beautiful person on the ship as well. How Gloriosa wanted Roger, but Roger wanted Shocky, and then Shocky wanted Rayleigh, and Rayleigh's all like, huh, you say something? So we saw that little dynamic, and then, of course, Roger clashing with Garb. He was all like, oh no, it's the Navy, we gotta go. It's Garb! Hold up! Rewind! We throwing hands. So it's like crazy. I think Silver Axe definitely changed his size somehow. Maybe, or it could have been that they were jumping in last and they weren't up close, if their image in the background was any indication. If for anything, it could mean that it could be one of those cases where the appearance of a character changes when we finally see them in person. Because you know how we saw the silhouette of Kaido, and Kaido doesn't look even a bit like his silhouette when Garp was describing him the first time. Big Mom either. So it could be a matter of like, maybe I didn't finalize the design, but, you know, it could be any number of things on Oda's side. Ganzui looked like he's about to jump on Big Mom. That's because he's got big hands, which ties in well with the first part of the chapter because we see her get the love sickness in this chapter, meaning not long after this, she sets out and ends up joining the Rocks Pirates. Yeah. People saying that Snake Lady is Luffy's mom. I'm like, where did they get that speculation from? Gloriosa? People like to say that. They saying she looks like Luffy and etc. I was like, I gotta read the chapter. Gloriosa. Shocky does... Well, first of all, Shocky is not Luffy's mom. And if you're talking about Tree Toma, still doesn't look like Luffy. So, you guys know what we do. So this was a good chapter. This was a very good chapter. We see the Rocks Pirates officially setting off while Rox is intending to get his hands on 2 specific devil fruits. Now, the thing is, one of them is the one from Elbaf. We don't know what the other one is. You know, it'd be funny if the devil fruit he was searching for would later be claimed by his son. Wouldn't it be crazy if the dark fruit was a fruit that Rox was searching for? Wouldn't that be crazy? I'm just saying. Wouldn't that be crazy? I'm just saying. But, and here I go. I'm talking about Rox, and I type in Rox instead of the actual chapter that we're trying to go through real quick. Don't worry, I won't be long. Let me just pull up the regular page itself so we can just go through the synopsis, as we always tend to do. So, here's the long summary. During this era, there was a particular group of pirates who were considered idols at sea, and that group of pirates were the Qushu pirates. Oh, also, got a new phone case. Had to get rid of the old one. It was breaking. As the crew came from the woman-dominated island Amazon Lily, male civilians and even the Marines had trouble dealing with them because of how strong and beautiful they were. The captain of the crew at the time was Gloriosa, who was adored by everyone, even by members of her own crew. But the one person who outshone even her was her first mate, Shakuyaku. Sure enough, Shakuyaku was so beautiful that even the Roger pirates sought her out to claim for themselves. Though humorously, Gloriosa was head over heels in love with Roger, which bothered her that he wouldn't return her obvious feelings. The fact that we learned that Gloriosa, Granny Nyon, the man that she spoke about when she had to go, wound up being Roger himself. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Even for a man like Roger, he stood no chance against Shaki, as her beauty combined with her strength made her truly an undefeatable opponent, though she claims she will never belong to anyone. The only one among the crew who didn't make a fool of himself in her presence was Rayleigh, which Shaki took notice of. Rayleigh was the only one who's all like, bruh, I ain't got time for these women right now. Rayleigh was the only person who didn't fold. He was the only one who didn't fold. The king of the pirates folded. Gavin folded. Everybody on the ship folded. Even her own crewmates folded beneath her beauty. But Rayleigh was all like, you see these idiots that I gotta deal with? And the fact that he didn't fold made him attractive to her. He didn't fold at all. And that's the reason why Shaki won. That was enough to get Shaki's attention, like, ooh.
Hey, Rayleigh.
Oh, that's crazy to me, because, see, man, see? You ain't got to make fools of yourselves. Just be calm, be like Rayleigh. That's how you get the ladies. Now, don't be exactly like Rayleigh and gamble all of your money away and drink yourself into a stupor, but be resistant, be immune to the charms of women, and you shall succeed in life. I didn't say you succeed in getting women, I just say you succeed in life. I'm just trying to be honest here. Because some of y'all, I wish y'all the best of luck. Even for a man like Roger, he stood no chance against Shaki, as her beauty combined with her strength made her truly an undefeatable opponent. Though she claimed that she will never belong to anyone, the only one among the crew who didn't make a fool of himself in her presence was Rayleigh, which Shaki took notice of. At that time, however, the only other person who could make Roger lose sense of reason was his rival Garp, as when he got close enough to the two crews, Roger immediately changed their order to retreat once he learned Garp was there, and the two clashed fiercely. Despite constantly ignoring her affection, Gloriosa's feelings for Roger remained strong. Eventually, Gloriosa's lovesickness forced her to step down as captain and have Shaki take her place, which only made her popularity grow. Meanwhile, in Elbaf, Loki tried to set sail to sea, but he nearly drowns, with the nearby people unsure about saving him due to his reputation. We can blame Estrid for that. Incidents like these would bring Harold back to see him, while Ida became furious at the thought of people letting Loki die despite his attitude, as he figured his belligerent nature was just a cover for how lonely he felt. Ida offered Loki come live with her and Harudine, but both of them refused, as Loki thought Ida just wanted to use him to live luxuriously. Missing the fact that Ida said, Loki, you come live with us. As in her and Harudine. And they don't live in luxury. So you can tell that Loki's whole mindset of like, you just want to come back and live with us in the castle so you can have my dad's money. And I'm like, bruh, she said come live with her. Not her, come live with you. So already he ain't paying attention. Hard-headed little boy. Harudine was, let's see, but both of them refused as Loki thought Ida just wanted to use him to live luxuriously, which enraged Harudine and Harold that Loki would say such a thing, but his words towards her never made Ida hate him, as she thought he was just adorable. You know, showing the same exact kind of affection that Estrid should have shown him, so that Loki wouldn't be the way he is now. Loki stated that he hates Elbaf and the people because of how weak they are, and he only wishes to set sail with Rox and live freely, thinking it would be a win-win for both sides. Sadly, no matter how many times Loki asked Rox to let him join, when he visited Harold to recruit him, Loki was always rejected. We did not hear tale of the last time Loki would see Rox, and when Rox would beat him so badly that Loki would be resentful of Rox. We have not reached that point yet. On Hachinosu, after Rox conquered it, several powerful pirates started flocking to the island, one of them being a mobster named Kyo the Hitman, who was known as Shiki's rival and would eventually become known as Silver Axe. By that point, several other formidable people had joined the Rox pirates, including Charlotte Linlin and Strusin, Kaido, John, and a catfish fishman named Barbell. Rox told his crew that his plan to become king of the world first involves 2 devil fruits he needs to acquire, one of which is in Elbaf, and which he wants Harold to eat in order for its power to truly show. John says that the second thing Rox wants is the Galley La, which Linlin says she hasn't heard anything about a frozen group of giants from her massive information network. Newgate figured even if they are found, they are probably all dead now. We know where they are. And Barbell adds that if by some chance they come back to life, they might have no reason to listen to Rox. But Rox says that that is exactly why he needs Harold to join his crew. Kaido suggests Rox just makes Harold submit to him by force, but Rox attacks him in response, saying he would never do that to his friend. That really says a lot about Rox, though. Even though Harold wants nothing to do with his violent crusade, Rox still considers a good dear friend of mine that he literally looked and beat on Kaido, saying like, don't you ever suggest something like that again or I'll kill you. Now, mind you, he doesn't say he'll kill him, but he says he'll mess him up royally if he ever speaks about Harold like that. Because Kaido is of the mind of might makes right. Just make him submit to you. And Rox is all like, that's my friend, I wouldn't do that. So it really says a lot about Rox and how serious he takes people. And I forgot to put chat back over here so I could see you guys again. Sorry. They say it looks like a movie. I heard people say Triotoma, but I don't buy too many plot holes in that theory. Yeah, too many. Haven't talked about it. Dang, with that, I was thinking about it. Rox was maybe probably looking for that, and my phone case is all crumbling. Be right back. Gotta read this chapter. We know who he wanted was on Elbaf, so that adds more stock to the Devil Fruit Loki has. I just hope the other is the Darkness Fruit too. My theory is Kyo's gonna pull a Diaz Drake on Rox. He's the only one joined the gang willingly, and I'm not surprised if he's an undercover Navy. He might even be related to Zephyr or Smoker. To make Zephyr official, that would be something if Zephyr is actually referenced in a chapter. Let's see, this proves that Sanji can get Conqueror's Haki for all those crazy people saying, and I quote you, you can have Conqueror's Haki if you act like Sanji. Moral of the story, you can get the ladies without brown nosing. Exactly. No, Loki, that was your deadbeat mother. Yeah, ain't it crazy? It's crazy how he looks. He looked at I know I'm going back because I'll continue. It's crazy how Loki looked at Ida like, I don't want you. Like Kitty would say, a digger of gold. I don't want you because I don't want you to. You just want my dad's money. And I'm like, your mother was literally that. Your mother literally wanted all of the gold in the palace moved into the chamber, into the main bedroom. Anything luxurious your mother wanted all over the castle. Ida's content with running a regular old bar out on one shore of Elbaf. But you say she's the one who's after your dad money? Don't you know? He don't know. He don't know. All he knows is that she resented him. Sorry. Ida's a good woman. Also, the fact we know Chiyotoma dies 31 years from now is sad to think about, and is also a fun fact. Did you know in this chapter, Shaki would be 20 years old? Yeah, 20 years old and a knockout. But let me get back to this. Let's see. Kaido suggests Rox just makes Harold submit to him by force, but Rox attacks him in response, saying he would never do that to his friend. Rox tells his crew that Elbaf is the key to taking down Marijois, and if they don't believe him, then they can leave. But if they choose to keep following him, then he promises to take them all the way to the peak of the world. So, and they don't have any quick chapter notes because they haven't updated it yet. So, here's where we stand. This just made it more curious to find out more about this devil fruit, this legendary devil fruit that Loki has and ate. This makes me more curious about why Rox would want it so much. And also, another thing to bring up is how important it is to know that Rox is an incredibly knowledgeable individual, because Sengoku brought this up when we were first told about the Rox pirates, all the way back then in the God Valley incident. We were told that Rox was a person who loved to learn, who loved to gather knowledge, and even learn things that were considered taboo. His knowledge of the world was vast, and he dabbled into things that no one should know. So it doesn't surprise me that he would know about certain devil fruits and their potential and who would be the best people to eat those same fruits. So I'm curious about, because here's the thing. You got to think about all this knowledge that Rox has. All that knowledge allowed him to get into the center of Marijois directly in the same room as Emu themselves, which no one has been able to do ever. So Rox knows a lot of stuff. We don't know how much, but he knows enough for him to infiltrate the most sacred, most protected, most prestigious, most legendary place in all of One Piece other than Laugh Tale itself. No problem. I would love to pick the brain of Rox, to just know what he knows. So, and you can see that his ambition is literally continued in his son. His ambition to be like, hey, I got these devil fruits, and the only way it's going to really reach its fullest potential is if a giant eats it. Most of all, an ancient giant. Because of Harold's size and because of his might, he's way stronger than your average giant. But with him having, devil fruit powers and whatever this fruit may be, just imagine what kind of power he could have. And mind you, I'm just thinking outwardly here. Could the second fruit that Rox is looking for be the dark fruit? But he wasn't able to get his hands on it? And maybe that's how Teach ends up with the dark fruit? And then it makes you wonder, why was Teach looking for the dark fruit all those years? There's just so many questions. Like, is Blackbeard doing everything he's doing because he's fulfilling the will of his own dad? Or if he's doing it because it just happens to be a coincidental parallel to his own father. There's just so many things. And I'm thinking in my head, could he have left a journal for his son to read back then? The same way Odin did for Momonosuke. To follow in his footsteps? To have that same level of ambition? So his plan got screwed up when the God Knights stole those fruits and brought them to God Valley. There are 6 chests on God Valley. 2 of them had the pawpaw fruit and the fish fruit, and 1 had shanks. I think the dark fruit could either be a fruit or to fight Emu or want to absorb their power. You keep saying her like Emu is a her, but we don't know that. But we don't know the true gender of Emu. Regardless of the theories that are out there, we don't know the true gender of Emu. So it's best to say they right now because we don't know. Or it's just a very dope plan. It could just be a very dope plan. It could be. Can you imagine how cool it would have been if Sanji would have had Conqueror Saki when his father kidnapped him and forced him to marry Pudding? It would have been interesting to see. It would have been something to see Sanji have conquerors on top of him having, armament and combine that with the Diable Jamba. Name like that sounds like a she. Emu. Emma sounds like a she name. Emu does not. Mu definitely does not. It's an ambiguous type name, so I wouldn't try and put like gender roles to Emu's name quite yet, because we don't know. We don't know. But yeah, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. CD. Sometimes you make me want to drink water and just think. But I'm droning on. Is it skipping? I hope it's not. But yeah, I'm just droning on. So, I'm just curious, and we're going on break. Who says it was just one journal? What if he left one on Hachinosu? Mu is not a feminine name. No, it is not. Momo is, but not Mu. Nah, you want to pop me upside the head? It'd be like, bang! Just, and you gotta smack your teeth when you, just across the back, just across the back. But I'm joking here, but because I gotta get to Sakamoto Days in today's episode. But we're going on break. Didn't we just go on break? We just went on break. We leave it, and we get the Rocks Pirates setting out. We see more members of the Rocks Pirates. I'm curious about Kyo, the Hitman. I'm curious about him, whether he's just a pure strength and hockey type character, or if he has a devil fruit as well. Curious about that. Curious about this devil fruit that Rock says he wants to get the most. Not just the one from Elbaf, but also this unknown second one that he wants as well, and we don't even know what it is. We see Gloriosa and everybody, Shaki, and just how beautiful she is. We just came back from break. Yeah, I know, we just came back from break, and now we're going on it again. Which tells me the next chapter we get might be a fire one. This one's a really good one. This one was a really good chapter, but I honestly feel like when we come out of this break, the next one's going to be a fire one. I honestly believe it. So now the question is, since we're seeing more of the Rocks Pirates, are we leading up to the God Valley incident at some point? And we actually see the fight that goes down? Or are we going to, because we're focusing a lot on the Rocks Pirates right about now. We're in this flashback back in the day. Seeing Roger in his prime, seeing Garp in his prime, seeing Rocks in his prime, seeing the Rocks Pirates in their prime. We're focusing a lot on the Rocks Pirates right now. So are we going to see the events that transpired that lead to the God Valley incident and Roger and Garp helping each other to bring down the crew? The whole magazine is on break, I think, due to the holiday, Shonen Jump, I mean. That's fine, because that means next Sunday, we finally get to find out who are the fan-voted characters from the poll that Pirate Warriors put out back in February. Next week, we finally get to find out who it is. I voted for Ryokugyu, Eneru, and King. Those are the three that I voted for. I'm not interested in playing as Vivi. I'm not. I know people love Vivi, but I'm not interested in playing her in a game where characters like Kaido and Big Mom and Whitebeard and Roger and Rayleigh and Garp and everybody else are just titanically strong. I feel like Vivi would definitely not meet her full potential in comparison to all of these characters due to it being Vivi. I'm just saying. So the real question is, how is all of this going to lead back up to what happened to Harold? That's what I'm saying, Ozzy. That's what I'm saying. We are focusing so much on the Rocks pirates right now that we need to get back to the point where all those men, all of Harold's men, were stabbing him through the body when Loki and Chief Jarl walked in. We still need to deal with that whole thing. We're getting so much history in the world of One Piece before Roger gets his mustache, before the God Valley incident, before Garp becomes the hero of the Marines. There's a lot in between those 2 points right now, so I'm just curious. How do we get back to Elbaf and the events that unfold? Will we see Shanks and Loki later in life when Shanks shows up and beats Loki and drags him back to Elbaf for him to be imprisoned in the Sun World? Where's Loki telling this story? Loki is still in the underworld because Gabin is the one describing, I think it's Gabin describing all this stuff that's going on. Well, actually, yeah, it's a little bit of Gabin and Loki describing what's going on. Also, speaking of Sanji, I would love to see him using his hands, not only the legs when fighting, Muay Thai style. You want a cook who prizes his hands above all else to use them in fighting. You already know he's not ever going to use his hands. Scars on the back are a swordsman's shame. Scars on the hands are a cook's shame. He's never going to use his hands. Loki telling a long story here, I can see how to confuse somehow the Kujo's involved. Nah, Sanji's never going to use his hands to fight. Mind you, when he was fighting that Wanza, when he was fighting Wanza on the train leading to Ennie's lobby, that was the only exception, and he used that to cut noodles. Too bad? Ain't no too bad. It's already been stated. You should know this already. There's no exception to this rule. He's the black leg Sanji, not black hand Sanji. Them hands is only for cooking. They need to be in top shape. They only be used for handstands when he's using it to kick people. Sanji will never use his hands to fight. That's too precious of a commodity. That's like asking Doctor Strange before he lost his hands, hey, you mind using your feet to do this brain surgery? Or do you mind getting in the boxing ring? A neurosurgeon. A neurosurgeon. It would be like asking Doctor Strange, who was a neurosurgeon, to, hey, can you play this, can you get in this, bare knuckle brawl fight ring with us and, get into like a fighting tournament, like an underground fighting tournament. You got to use your hands though, but then expect him to work on someone's brain the next day. No, never. Never. Sanji would never use his hands for fighting. Other than using it to, do his party table kick course, and that's it. But one also has to wake up to, yeah, one can dream. Yeah, you gonna keep dreaming. You will have that dream for the rest of your life. You will never see it happen when he actually hits someone with his hands. Because it's too risky. Too risky. You can't risk severing a nerve or bruising a finger that could be very much used to chopping up shallots and everything else. Everything else. No, too much of a risk. We're talking about Sanji right now. We'll have to do this another time. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going on break again after One Piece. Come on, he's a mutant that can regen and he's afraid of something so trivial as a few scars. Okay, so let me say this. After years of using your hands to cook food, which has saved your life, mind you, you have great appreciation for for all things cooking, even from a young age. You take it seriously. You do it to the best of your ability. Why would you even risk the mere thought process of, I'm cooking, but I also want to fight? That Cohagen, love you, bruh. I really do, but that is not a good idea. That's foolish. That's dumb, even. We already know that Sanji cherishes food at just as much as he does ladies, if not a little more so. The way he was raised with Zeph, of course he would have a greater appreciation for food, and also cleanliness, and also making sure that his hands are good so that he can deliver top-tier food. There's no way. It doesn't matter. Understand, Sanji, it's like me, me as an artist, I draw, I gotta make sure my hands are in good condition. And it's like me as a musician. I need these hands to play, both on piano and my trumpet. I'm not gonna put my hands in a situation where I can't do those things, where I could wind up injuring myself. That's like telling Zoro should stop fighting with his swords, or leave out the Wado Ichimonji whenever he fights. You can't use the Wado Ichimonji at all. That would ruin everything no, we're not having this conversation. We're not having this conversation. Kohagen, you're wrong. You are wrong. No, Sanji don't need to use his hands. The only way Sanji is ever going to use his hands to fight is using cooking utensils against someone with a food power aside, and even then it's not very likely. It was situational at best. Situational at best, and even then he didn't use it against the person, but he used it against the ramen being used. That was it. Nope, I want Sanji to use his feet and hands. You gonna keep wanting. You gonna keep wanting. You gonna keep dreaming. But it's never gonna happen. You will learn. You'll live.
I want Sanji to use his feet and hands.
You'll get over it. You probably won't, but you'll get over it, because it ain't gonna never happen. That's already been established in stone. That's about as solid. That's established in a poneglyph saying Sanji will never hit women. Sanji will never use his hands to fight. He'll only use his feet, because them hands is for cooking. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. I love messing with y'all, though. I really do. Thank you for being here, ladies and gentlemen. We got Sakamoto Days after this, and then we got a One Piece episode. But ladies and gentlemen, this was a good episode, a good chapter of One Piece. That will probably happen in the end game of the story. CDs, don't you encourage him. Don't you start. Don't even. Matter of fact, don't say nothing else. Don't say nothing else. You're not helping. You are not helping.
Maybe he'll do it near the end of the story.
Back of the head. Back of the head. No. But this was a good chapter of One Piece, everybody. All I can say to everyone here, from Kohagen, Halster, Ozzy, CDs, everybody, is hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. And because I know you're coming back anyway. Have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples, on to Sakamoto Days.